I don't think that they should still be a human being who does not realize that the suffering that sentient beings have to endure in this reality is not for a good reason, and it's unjustifiable. If you still don't realize that by now, I look at you like this. I don't know how to do it. If you watch Family Guy, Peter Griffin, whenever he's suspicious or something, he'll be like he'll squint his eyes and give you that suspicious look. Listen, there are a lot of evil things that are happening in this reality. If you're not traumatized, if you think this is all good, I cannot trust you. I can't. If you're still worshipping the gods that you think created this, I can't trust you. If you think whatever created this is good and you're like, yeah, you deserve all the praise, you deserve to be worshipped, I must fast for 10 days to show you how much I love you, how much I appreciate, I cannot trust you. Me and you are not the same kind of people. Like we're not the same. We're not even close. Last night this lady told me something very weird. So there's this guy that I will see when I go to this tavern. He'll greet me and pass, or sometimes he'll try to make conversation with me. But I never felt good about the guy. You know, when someone's energy is so off that you don't want to be where they are. Like for real. Like you sense, like when that person is there, it almost feels like they're draining you. Like something is totally off. And he liked to stand in front, like if he's gonna stand where I am, it's gonna be like very close to where I am, or he's just gonna greet and pass. And if he's gonna make a conversation, it's gonna be a forced conversation, as if he wants to talk, as if he doesn't talk to me, then something bad is gonna happen. Like he has to talk to me, right? Yesterday, this lady tells me about him. I go, there's this guy who dresses like this, you know, I don't know if you know him. And I tried to remember, but I couldn't remember until we saw him, and she was like, oh, that guy. I was like, oh yeah, I've seen him before. And she's like, one day after she was leaving the tavern, she saw him on the road, and she greeted him fine. She passed. But just before she could get home, she saw this dark figure behind her after she passed the guy. And she ran home. She ran fast. She still doesn't know what it was, but she asked him if he saw it, and he said he saw nothing. But it's weird because she just passed him when she saw that dark figure. And I was like, I didn't really say much. It was like, But then I thought about it. I was like, why is it that I never felt good around this guy? Like seriously, when this guy, and it's something that I wanted to talk to someone about, but I just didn't take it very seriously. I was like, maybe, it's water and oil. Who knows? We just don't connect like that. I don't know. But that made me think, in this world, there could be so much that is happening right in front of us that we don't understand, but that is bad. We don't even have a clue that these things are happening. Like, that's how bad things are in this world. And that is why we know nothing. Never ever think you don't deserve to know. In a world that is good, you will know the truth. I'm telling you, that's one of the most important thing. You must know. You not knowing is a red flag. You not knowing alone is proof that something is completely off about this reality. Because there could be things that are happening in your life that are very horrible that you don't even notice. There could be things that are being done to you that you don't even, maybe there are beings that are sucking the energy out of you, but they're doing it in ways that you don't even see. You just go back home drained. You just go back home not feeling well anymore, not feeling happy anymore. After you've been with these people, or after you've been close to these people, you might not even have spoken to them. You go to the mall, then you go back home, you feel totally drained. There could be a lot that is happening that you don't see. A lot of people do tell us stories that are unbelievable. I remember when I was still young, still in high school, there was a guy who was dating this girl from another village. When we're still young, we're not allowed to bring women home, right? Of course, we wouldn't be allowed. We're still students. But somehow he found a way to snake the girl into his room. Okay. In the middle of the night, dude screams, runs outside naked. He says, "Shh!" Her eyes turned, like some kind of a lizard, like the kind of like orange, and her skin, like a reptilian actually, not like a reptile, not a reptilian. At the time, we didn't even know that there could be such things as reptilians. But yeah, she described what people call reptilians now, right? She described what people, he described what people call reptilians. That her skin changed. It kind of looked like a crocodile. Her eyes became like orange, and it scared him so much that he ran outside naked, started to scream, and then people surrounded the house. The story was a bit confusing. I don't know if they got the girl got outside and she was okay, and but we laughed about it. I remember the whole school, we laughed about it. But looking back, I'm like, what did the guy see? And in a village where the girl is from, it is like everyone believes a lot of people from there are witches, because of the things that they've seen happen in the village, right? So it's like when I look back, I'm like, we might just say maybe he had a mental illness or something, or he was hallucinating, but the guy is totally fine. I don't think he's ever experienced anything like that ever again in his life. Like, what if she changed into a true self without like intending to, and he saw what she really was, and it scared him, and then she turned back into her original self, so it looked like he maybe was hallucinating, maybe he was just having a bad dream. But for him to run outside naked, expose himself, right? His parents didn't want him to bring a girl over, so they probably whooped his ass the next day. But for him to be willing to expose himself, it means what he saw was really that scary. So the point that I'm trying to make is that there might be a lot of things that are happening that people that we don't even see. And sometimes people, because glitches are always going to happen, sometimes people do see the real truth, but when they see the real truth, they believe something is wrong with them. Like, that's how things have been programmed in this matrix. Like, if you're going to see something very odd about reality, they're going to say you're crazy, right? Like, that's the first thing they're going to say. If you're going to see something odd, you crazy, you suffer from schizophrenia. They have names for everything now. But what if that isn't always the case? What if there are times when we see things that are really there, but because of how we've been conditioned to think, we tell ourselves that something is wrong with us? What if we see things that are wrong because there's something wrong, but we blame ourselves for seeing these things because we think these things ain't even there? I just watched a video on TikTok. It's a video of this guy. He's talking about how he's able to reach people's auras. There are some people that he meets that he knows are not human. Like, he says he's an alien. I know people like to make content, and it's fine. People can make content, people can lie online, people are bored, this reality is too boring. I understand. He believes that he's an alien. He does mention where he thinks he's from. So he's saying that there are many other alien civilizations that decided to come here on Earth, that live among us, but they look exactly like human, but they're not, and he's able to tell which ones are not human and which ones are human, which ones are evil, which ones are good. So what fascinates me about him is that like, when you listen to him, he makes a lot of sense. Like, you're like, I mean, I know these are just stories. This is what I tell myself. These are just stories. You're making all this up, but then you make too much sense. Like, it's so crazy that you make too much sense, but then it's just stories, right? What if there are things that are going on that really we are so lost in this reality that the truth can't even find us. Like, if someone's gonna say something that is true, we feel like our brains automatically reject it. Like, yeah, that's just too crazy. You listen to someone like Bashar, for an example. Like, I think the guy spoke about Bashar. He said Bashar is not a good, it's not a good, it's not even a human. That's what he believes, right? It's not even a human. I forgot what he called him, but he said Bashar is not here to help us reach high levels of consciousness like he claims. There are a lot of things that he says that are true, but the intention is not to help us. The intention is to do something to us. He's one of the agents. That's what he believes. And I started thinking, I was like, sometimes being too clever is actually a problem, because there are things, and what do I even mean by clever? I mean, being clever by this world standard. Let me put it that way, right? Like, being what you like, being what the people who are in power, or the people who are on top on any field will say this is great, this is intelligence, this is maybe that's maybe that's not right, and I'll show you why. So okay, you see someone like Bashar who claims he's channeling, and I forgot his name, but what he says is channeling is called Bashar. So yeah, that's why he calls himself Bashar. You can see that he makes a lot of sense. You can see he's consistent. Like if there are people who talk too much but that are very consistent, he's one of them. He talks a lot. When you ask him a question, he's gonna talk a lot. He's not gonna give you like one word, and he's not gonna give you like one sentence as an answer. Like he's gonna explain. He will talk until you like try to stop him, like he's gonna talk, and he's very consistent, and what he says doesn't seem planned, but it's very consistent. Like you ask him a question about something, his answers are gonna be very consistent. He doesn't change his answers. Like you can't find inconsistencies in what he's saying, and he speaks very fast. Like that should be proof that something is not what it seems here, because humans are not like that. Because Basha just talks, bro. You understand? Like he doesn't even think for a second. Like when you ask a question, as soon as you stop, he just be like, well, and then he starts talking, and you're like, damn. But I've always felt that the guy was intelligent. He's either very intelligent or that he's really channeling something, but there is something that is off. Like that's how I always felt. Like no, he's telling us something, and some of these things that he's telling us are very helpful, but the intention is not good. Like when there's this TV series that I've watched 2 years back. It's called The Three Body Problem. Aliens were coming to Earth, but they were still very far away. But there's this technology that allowed that they were able to use to monitor Earth. So they would control some things that were happening on Earth, make people hallucinate and all of that. So they were able to talk to some people, and these people looked at them as gods, as the ones that are going to save humanity. But really, what they were coming to do is totally destroy humanity and build their own civilization here. That's it. That was the intention. But because they were so advanced, they knew that they can make us think they're good, right? So it's kind of like the same thing that I'm sensing with these kind of people, who channel us. They say the same things. They actually do say the same things. It's not just Bashar. There are other channelers, Abraham Hicks, a channel. What's the name actually? It's Abraham. Yes, she says she channeled this entity called Abraham, and there are like more and more channels that are becoming popular now, right? But the crazy thing is that they are all saying the same things. So sometimes being too clever will actually keep you stuck in what you call reality, because your mind is not going to be open to other possibilities. You feel like you're very smart if you say Basha is not doing that, because it's not possible. It's not able to channel. But what if these things are happening, Because it's obvious that something very odd is going on in this reality. That is beyond obvious, right? Something very odd is going on. And you might think, if there were odd things that are going on, you would have been able to see that. But what I'm saying to you is that what if you were able to see that, but you come up with a rational explanation, or what you call a rational explanation, but really you call it a rational explanation because those who are on top of their fields are telling you these are rational explanation, right? For an example, if a doctor will say, if you saw a reptilian, What a doctor would say is that maybe you were hallucinating. Maybe you got scared, and when you're scared, sometimes your mind does this. But then, what if you actually did say reptilian? But then you feel like you smart, by when you believe that that's what is actually happening, and you use that as an explanation. It's something that I see happening also in our culture. You know, where I came from, when we would see someone in someone's house, like you wake up in the morning, you see a person in someone's house naked. They don't know their names. They're not saying anything, but they're doing something very odd. We used to think ushwelile. What that means is that they were trying to perform witchcraft, but something went wrong and they got exposed. That's what we believe. Now, it's dangerous to believe that, because there have been people who were burned alive, and obviously there have been innocent people who were burned alive because of that. But I think when people, like, when these kind of things happen, even if these things like are too strange, like, okay, you find an old woman on top of a building naked, like a old woman that cannot walk very well during the day, she's on top of a building. You're like, how did she climb? How did she climb? And you'll be like, yeah, it's what is it called? What is it called when sometimes you forget what you're doing? It's not amnesia. There's this word. It's I forgot what it is, but everyone is gonna be like, oh, it's that. I feel sad for our people because they're too stupid to realize that it's that. But in some instances, it's not. Maybe in some situations it's not. Maybe in some situations something is really happening, but we wanna be intelligent, Or dementia, right? We would say it's dementia. Like, yeah, have you ever seen someone who suffers from dementia? Yes, there is dementia. Obviously there is. But is it always dementia? You go to a church, a pastor lays hands on someone, and then they start to roll on the floor, start to destroy things, become totally uncontrollable just because the pastor did this. And you say, you come up with a scientific explanation. You're like, it doesn't make any sense. Maybe in some cases it does, but what happened is odd. And why is it that this pastor, wherever he goes, is able to do it? It doesn't matter where he is, right? He can go from village to village. He can do this to people. But somehow we're going to say there's a scientific explanation. And I'm not saying what he's doing is a sign that maybe God is real or God is good or whatever. No, not even close. I'm saying something is definitely happening, and I don't even think it's good. I don't even think those people rolling on the floor, screaming and all of that is good. I think that is also a sign something is wrong, right? Because that's not even supposed to be happening. Like, it's not like these people, their lives change, and they become better people, nothing. If another pastor comes and they pray for that person, same thing is gonna happen. But here's the crazy thing: the pastors that are able to do that, they're always able to do that to these people. Do you understand? So if I'm a pastor that cannot do that, even if I lay my hands and I say the same things that the pastors who have made these people roll on the floor said, nothing is gonna happen. But those pastors, if they come into our villages and they pray and these things happen to people, those people that it happened to before, it will still happen. If those people are able to make people fall and roll and all of that. And you'd be like, nah, it's nothing. It's nothing. Oh, they're just acting. Yes, of course. There are situations where people act. But is it always like that? There are some situations where people are going to act. Of course they will. But is it always like that? Think of magic. Think of magic. People do do perform magic and they even tell you how it's done and it makes complete sense. I can even learn how to do that. But there are some tricks that they do that make you go like, nah. Oh, they perform a trick and they show you how to do it. But when you do it, it still does seem more like a trick. Because it is. But when they do it, it's not actually a trick. They are doing it, but they are making it seem like it's a trick. There's this line from King Laws. I think the name is By Mischief. Or By Mischief, I mean. Yeah. So he says something like, I won't stop till I'm respected. My flaws, my faults, my flaws are peaceful. I don't know. It says something like his flaws are peacefully constructed to dwell among humans undetected. Something like that. Like, I won't stop till I'm respected. My flaws are purposefully created to dwell among you humans undetected. Something like that. So I think that's what's going on with some of these magicians. Like they will perform a magic trick, but then they will make it seem not to be that perfect by explaining how it's actually performed. So you'll be like, oh, makes sense now I get it. It was not magic, but they actually perform real magic. They show you how levitation trick is done, and you're like, okay, it makes sense now. But then when you do it, you can't do it the way that they do it. So they give you some bullshit explanation about how they perform the trick. But then, but when they do it, you're like, still, that doesn't really like the explanation that you gave me that doesn't make complete sense. Like, I can understand that you can deceive a person, but you are not that good. You can't tell me that you're so good at it. There's something that you're not telling me. Like the way David Blaine performed these tricks, you're like, nah, bruh. Like, you're not that intelligent. Something else is going on here. It's not you being super intelligent and you have invested your time practicing magic. Like, maybe there has to be something. Or maybe you're just that good. I don't know. But no, man. There are a lot of things that are happening. I remember there used to be these guys who come to our schools, perform magic, who pay a certain amount of money. They'll do like all these odd things, like making something appear in your pocket, or making someone, like an egg comes out of someone, or stuff like that. And you see it happening in real time, and you talk to these people later, and back then people would expose the truth. We're still young, but they would be like the stories would be very consistent that it actually did happen to them. Like, they did, an egg came out of them. You're like, what? Also, another thing that I'm kind of that thing makes sense. I think can explain some of the odd things that uh, that these magicians and these pastors are able to do. Is, I think, remember what I told you that, okay, let's say someone falls, they pray for this person, they fall, they roll on the floor, do all these crazy things, and then that pastor leaves, and then another pastor that can make people do the same things. When they pray for that person, same thing happen. What if these pastors are from the same kingdom, And these people that are doing these things, maybe they're also from the same kingdom, and really there are some secrets they know, and it's only to deceive us, and they'll never tell you the truth. Like, one of the biggest mistakes that you're making is that you think they're just normal humans. Like, maybe they're dumb. They would have told you the truth, but they'll never tell you the truth. Like, they are way smarter than you think, more advanced than you think. They might be sleeping in houses that are not good. They might be poor, but really, they're just acting poor. They're just acting like they can't do much for themselves, so that you'll be convinced that there's nothing that is happening. Growing up, I had a feeling that some people really knew each other, and they had secrets that they're not telling me. And real secrets, I'm talking about, I stole something, and or that, like, real secrets about life. Like, they know something that I don't know. Think about it. If there were secret societies, they wouldn't know. Like, people in those societies will know each other, but they will act like they don't know each other in front of other people who don't know that they know each other, because they're doing evil things. So they have to act like they don't know each other during the day. It's something that I kind of thought about when I was thinking about witchcraft, that it might be how it will happen. You find that they know each other. There are things that they're doing to people, and they know they're doing these things to people, but during the day they don't even act like they know each other at all. Or even if they do, they just greet each other. They don't act like they're close, and they do things together in the darkness, but but then they do these things, and they're very close, and some of them are even married in their own world, in their own reality. You find that you're married to someone who is a part of these societies, but they're also married to someone that you see that as a random stranger, or that you see in the street smoking in your open, and you're like, those guys they have no future. They destroy their lives. You believe that. Kante, your wife is actually married to the Nyaope guy. So when they go to their secret societies at night, they're together. They're like, yo, we're fooling these people. We're fooling these people. Like, I'm telling you, man, one thing that you have to keep in mind is that what we do as humans to lower life form is evil. So if their advice beings, they will be doing the same to us. But remember, human beings don't want to be prisoners. They are much more complicated than a rat. So we would, if there were these people or these reptilians that be doing things to us, would know and would not like them. Like, they'll be our enemies. So they have to do it in secret. Like, you have to do it in secrecy. So keeping your mind open, it's very important when it comes to reality itself. A few days back, I came across a video on TikTok of someone adding, was it I think it was just yesterday. I don't really remember, but yeah. So before I made this video, I rewatched these videos. So someone is adding salt in a bucket full of catfish. So they're adding salt, and you could see that they are being hurt because of how they are moving. Like when they're adding, when someone, like a human being, is burning, like if they bend a bunch of humans, the way they will move, you would tell that, okay, they're in pain. So it's how those they were moving. It seems so cruel, and it made me go like, of course, if such evil exists and we don't even see anything wrong with it, of course this could be something that's being done to us that we don't even know it's being done to us, that we don't even know it's possible. And because we have convinced ourselves that this world is good, we don't think much of it. Think about accidents happening to people. What if there are forces that are causing these accidents, A taxi carrying 16 passengers got into an accident and everyone died. People lost their limbs, their heads, they couldn't tell which part was which, and all of that. And you think it just happens like randomly. But what if there are forces that are making these things happen to traumatize us, to traumatize the families of these people? And nowadays people record videos, which is weird. And when you think deeply about it, what kind of person would do that? Like a normal human being would record this video and then send it to other people, post it online for everyone to see. You're like, something is off here. It's almost as if they're working for these forces. It's like they're trying to traumatize us more, because we don't want to see that. It's horrible. There's a guy now. Guy is American. He had 7 children. One day, not even one day, I think yesterday, he just woke up feeling bad, I don't know, and he shot all these kids. He killed all of them. I think there's one that survived and might not even be his kid. No, there were 8 children that got shot, so one of them survived. Because he or she was able to climb out the window and run and call for help. The guy also shot his wife. When the police decided to chase him, he pulled out a weapon and tried to, use the weapon, and they shot him and he's dead. And you're like, how do these things happen? Like, you want to tell me that it's just normal people who are doing these things? Like, what is going on here? And something similar to that had happened. Even it was yesterday in South Africa. A guy from my province did something similar. He went to his girlfriend's place and he shot her. He shot her aunt. They both died. He shot the neighbor. The neighbor died. There was a person who was injured. I don't know who he was, but it's in critical condition. Oh, it's a police officer, female police officer. He took his child with him. So they thought he's also going to kill the child, but fortunately enough, the child was found at school. But he was found dead because he ended his own life. These crazy things that traumatize us are happening all the time. How? What is causing these things? Are these things what we think they are? Or there's more to it that we don't even realize? Because we are intelligent, we can explain it. It's just a mental illness. He was just this and that. Some people be doing things that traumatize us, bro. And there's you who knows nothing. You accept whatever bullshit explanation they give you for these horrible things that are happening in this reality. But you're traumatized. I'm traumatized. What if there are beings with superpowers here that are doing things that are supposed to be impossible, that are affecting us every single day, and they're not exposing themselves? Or if they do expose themselves, they wipe off your memories. You think of movies like this Will Smith movie, Men in Black. Like, they're controlling reality in ways that you can't even understand. And you're just suffering. You're part of it. You're suffering. You have no superpowers. You have no clue what the fuck is going on. You can't explain anything. There's a video on TikTok of this guy talking about death. So this guy is like, what if, because when people who have had like a near-death experience, they're saying they see a light, right? So he was like, what if when you die, that light that you see, it's like when you're actually coming, like when you're about to come out from your mom's womb, there's light, you see outside, right? You see what's happening in like you see what's happening in this world. So what if what is actually happening when you're dying and you see this light, it's actually you being born again, and the reason why you cry is because you remember everything, but you can't talk. You're just terrified. You can't believe what is happening because you're experiencing it. You're like, fuck, I'm being born for real. I'm being born again. And you remember how bad your experience was last time, so you're like, and then now you as you get older, as you begin to talk, you are forgetting, and you end up forgetting completely. One thing that surprised me, that I still don't understand, that I can explain, and I remember I made a video telling you about this. Babies stare at me almost as if they want to tell me something. Like they stare, like if someone is passing, and it's something that it happened last week? Someone was holding a baby. The baby was staring at me, and I was with someone, and damn, who was I with? I don't even remember. But it's someone that I've already told that babies stare at me. So when the baby was staring at me nonstop, I was like, you see, I'm not lying to you. Like, babies stare at me for real. The weirdest experience that I've had so far with babies staring at me. I already told my sister actually that babies stare at me. She didn't believe me. So this lady, she brings a kid to our house, because she wanted to go and do something. She couldn't go with the baby, so she wanted my sister to look after the baby. Okay. The baby cries, the baby cries, the baby cries, the baby cries. I remember I wanted something from my sister, so I knocked. I entered the room. My sister is holding the baby. As soon as the baby saw me, the baby stopped crying completely. The baby stopped crying and just stared at me like this. When I'll go to this side, the baby is staring. And I'll go to this side, the baby is staring non-stop. When I left the room, the baby started crying again. And I was like, what the fuck? So I went back. Hold the baby. The baby doesn't even care that I'm holding him. He's looking at me in the face. Like, what the heck is the baby seeing? And it's been the story of my life. My nephew, same thing. When he was still a baby, he would stare at me and we would laugh about it. You know, my sister would be like, okay, let's move his head. Let's do something interesting. The he didn't even care. He's staring at me. I'm the main attraction. What if babies can see things that we don't see? Like, man, keep in mind that you don't know what the heck is going on, and stop trying to be too intelligent right now, because your intelligence might be what is actually limiting you from seeing the world as it is. What you call intelligence, not even intelligence. It's what the Matrix wants you to believe is intelligence. What if things are not what you think they are at all? Some explanations that were given for these things that are happening are too weird, bro. Like, they always have, if you watch the Truman Show, they always had some BS explanation. Like, when Truman realized that something was wrong, they'll have an explanation. Yo, he will see it on the news. They'll explain. They'll try to make it make sense, you know? Somehow, when he's watching the news, he's gonna see something that explains what he just witnessed. That is weird. Like, if it's just gonna rain on him and it doesn't rain anywhere else, and he tries to move to the other side and the rain is following him, when you watch the news, they're gonna explain, oh, there's this weird phenomenon when it was raining in one position and blah 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 blah. When something falls from the sky that's not supposed to be in the sky, there's gonna come up with some BS explanation. When they accidentally talk about him on radio and you realize that they're talking about him and they're talking about what he's saying, what he's doing, and they're following him around, they're gonna come up with some BS explanation. When he realized that his wall was not what he thought it was, they sent his friend and to convince him, and that's the crazy thing. That is why you must be careful the people that you trust in this reality, the people that you feel so grateful for. I'm sorry, but keep an open mind, man. You are still in a world that you don't understand. People can be signed to your life and they change your life, while really the truth is that they are working for those that control the world and that have brought you here. Maybe there's very few of us here. Maybe there ain't that many people. This reminds me of this TV series that I watched. I think it's called People of Earth. So there were these kids that encountered aliens when they were still very young, but these aliens wiped off their memories. So when they got older, they would kind of like remember. And these aliens were studying them. Find out one of the aliens that this guy encountered when he was young is working for him, but he doesn't know that the guy is an alien. So this group of people who were having like something like an AA meeting where they would talk about their alien encounter, like because they experienced it again, and they didn't forget completely when they experienced it when they were older. This guy, I think he was a journalist or something. He was working for the guy who was the boss. The alien was the boss. So he's talking about aliens, and the boss is trying to convince him that aliens are not real, but the story is interesting. While he was the alien, and when he exposed to him that he's actually an alien, like that shocked him, and he reminded him of when it happened, when he first met him when he was still a kid. But he was trying to make it seem like he's not an alien. Like, pay close attention to the people who are closest to you. I'm telling you, this reality is too weird for you to act like you get what is going on and it's normal. It's not. Nothing is normal about this world. There's nothing normal about this world. Your suffering is not a coincidence. Hey, I was born in a poor family. That's why I'm suffering. Hey, I was raped. That's why I'm suffering. Hey, I've been bullied. That is why I'm suffering. Hey, I'm ugly. That is why I'm suffering. Hey, this and that has happened. That is why I'm suffering. No, none of it is. It's not even like that, man. It's not even like that. The simplest has is that you're suffering because something is making you suffer. It's not random like that, you know. Like, a lot is going on in this reality, man. We need to open our eyes. We need to be real. We need to stop lying to ourselves too much. It's not helping. Like, we need to be real about what we are actually experiencing. Stop trying to be too intelligent, man. Sometimes you tell someone about your like sleep paralysis, what you've experienced. Hey, it's just when you wake up, but your body is not ready. It is what happens. Yeah, like, man, shut up, all right. Something odd, hey, it has happened to me, and you wanna give me some BS explanation? One of the things that I used to deal with is they call it exploding head syndrome. They call it exploding head syndrome. Someone's playing music, so I'm not trying to get a copyright strike here. Okay, well, I will hear like a noise. Sometimes it's voices of people talking, and then it wake me up. Sometimes it's someone calling my name, and then I wake up. Sometimes it's a gunshot, I wake up, or something falling, and I'll wake up. But yeah, it's exploding head syndrome, blah blah blah. Like, no, it's a little too odd. The way that I experience it is a bit too odd for me to just think it's a normal. You know, it's like a normal thing that happens. You know, maybe it's not normal. The world seems more like The world seems more like sure.
Okay.
Mwanamjane.
Okay, nengishabisa lesho sha na blue stick, stick.
Sure terrain.
Lesho sha Bluetooth.
Oh, and right.
And
Sure. Okay, where were we? Okay. Yeah, I was saying the world seems more like I don't know, like a stage more than anything. Like it doesn't seem like something that happened like randomly, like this world was created randomly. Like it seemed like it was like specifically created for a reason, and we are more important than you think. You guys saying like you are more important. This reminds me of the movie Get Out. You know, this guy was taken by his lady to meet her parents, and you know these people come to see like they told that there's an event that they're having, but it's not, it's about him, that they're selling him, but he doesn't know that, you know, people want to talk to him, you know, it seem like they're only asking about him because they are just interested in knowing him, and they want to be good and kind to him, but really they're trying to like figure out how he is, you know, so that they can decide whether they're going to buy him or not, buy his body or not. Really what they want is his body, you know. They can transfer their consciousness into his body, and he's young, he's healthy. It was usually older people, and they've been doing it for generations, right? But he couldn't see that it was all about him. So it's also what I think is going on in this world. Like things are happening and we just think, it's just random. You know, we're being studied, the way we react to things, the way we feel, what we believe, and all of that. You know, because think about what is already possible. I'm recording this video. I'm going to upload it online. You'll be able to watch it. You'll be able to comment and all. Like if that is possible, don't you think a lot more is possible that you don't even think is possible, right? When they send let's say there's a goat, and they send a decoy goat to live with that goat. That goat is not going to realize that it's a decoy goat, right? It's just going to think it's another goat. It might look a bit different, but it's another goat. So what if that's what's happening? You know, they sell me a car and I'm like, oh, it's just a car, you know. Auntie, that car is used to monitor me, you know, in every way. Like they can see everything. They can get more energy from me or whatever. But I just think it's just a car that I can use to travel. Now I'm not saying that's what's happening, but I'm saying you gotta keep an open mind, because weird things are happening here. Do you get what I'm saying? You exist, you don't know why you exist. So to think this is normal, or to act like this is normal, that is one of the things that's stopping you from seeing the real truth. And some people might say, okay, what's the point of seeing the real truth? Because it doesn't change anything. And you're right, you know, on some level, you're right. What is the point? Because what's gonna change? Whether you know the truth or not, the story remains the same. You're still gonna have to eat. You're still gonna have needs and wants. You still gotta work. It reminds me of this video of someone being asked what the shape of the earth is. Let me do it like this. The problem is someone is playing music, and yeah, this might be better. So someone is asked, what is the shape of the world? Is it flat or... Like I was like, why do I give fuck what the shape of the earth is? Like I don't care. I don't care, bro. I still gotta pay my bills. Like even if the earth is a square, it doesn't do anything for me. I still gotta work. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? So why do I gotta care? The earth could be shaped like a banana. I don't care. So yeah, you might feel like you figuring out what is going on doesn't really change anything, but I think it does. Maybe on some level it doesn't, but on some level it does. You know, you do deserve to know the real truth about this world. You know, if there's a chance that you can set yourself free, you gotta know the truth first. You know, you can't just you don't set yourself free without knowing the truth, right? You don't set yourself free without knowing the truth. Because here's the thing, man, and I think we kind of take it for granted, the fact that we don't even know anything. Like you just act like that is normal, like that is okay. You can just live your life knowing nothing. It's like no, that is odd. That is bad in every way. You do deserve to know. You're the one who's suffering here. You are the one who's suffering here. So you mean to tell me that it's okay that you know nothing about your existence? You're the one who's experiencing it. And you must keep in mind that this world could be anything. You don't know what it is, but also keep in mind that this world could be anything. Right? It could be a prison, and you don't know that you're in prison. It could be hell. You don't know that you're in hell. You could be you part of some crazy experiment, and you don't know that that's going on. But do you mean to tell me that you don't see that you deserve to know? You deserve to have a clue what is actually going on. And you questioning that is in a bad thing. You keeping an open mind is in a bad thing. I watched a video of some people who believe that pigeons are drones. I was like, yeah, at least you're thinking. We don't know what they are, but just for you to think that, that's a good thing. You're keeping an open mind about what is actually possible, right? So there could be drones for real. There could be drones for real. It's obvious that the world is not what it seems, man. It's obvious. Someone was saying, okay, so we do know that if we search for something online, or we talk about something, we will see it. Which is weird. Like, for an example, I'm not interested in tractors, right? If I'm going to search about a tractor on a website, chances are I'm going to find it on Facebook. That's how I bought this car, by the way. So I searched for Suzuki Swift on Google. Here's an advert about a Suzuki Swift on Facebook. I'm not even thinking that I'm gonna get it this time because of credit score and all that. And my credit score was good, but because I failed to get it the first time, so but then I clicked it, and then they called me right away, and I was, say that qualify, and and I'm like, there were not those. I didn't have those kind of adverts. They weren't advertising cars. They were advertising stuff that I was interested in: microphones, speakers, cameras, stuff like that. So now somehow they're advertising a car, and the model that I want specifically, because I searched it on Google. Not even on Google, like on a website, on another website. So that's the thing, man. Oh, so the guy was saying, yeah, we know that that happens, and it's true, it happens, because if you search for something, you're gonna see it being advertised on, TikTok or Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. But he was like, why is it that I can think of something that I've not thought about? Like maybe I think of a tractor, and then I go online and the first thing I see is a tractor. I don't care about no tractors at all. I never think about tractors. But today I thought about a tractor, and then I'll go online and then here's a tracker. This is literally the first thing that I see. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, does it not seem like they are reading our minds somehow? Telling you, man, something odd is going on in this reality, and we have to be smart, We have to be smart as we deal with this reality called life. Stop taking yourself for granted. Stop taking your curiosity for granted. Your need for knowledge for granted. You matter. You do deserve to know. You do deserve to have an understanding of what this is, why it's happening, and what you can do to set yourself free if you need to set yourself free. Like, you deserve to know. There isn't, like, stop telling yourself you don't deserve to know. Stop living up to a higher power. Hey, it's God. God is good, and he can be. You already have learned this about this reality, that those that are powerful take advantage of those that are not powerful. So what makes you think God will be good? Why will God be good? Dude doesn't have to be good. Like, if you want to believe that there's a God and he's one and he's created everything, why would he be good? He's gonna be the most evil thing ever. Right? Because he's too powerful. He controls everything in this reality. So why would he be good? He doesn't need to be good. So stop lying to yourself and open your eyes, see the world for what it really is. Maybe you'll get it. Maybe you figure it out. Maybe you figure out why you had to deal with getting bullied as a kid, why your mother died when you're still young, why you were born in a poor family, why things ain't going your way. Maybe you will understand. Maybe it will make complete sense. You will understand what reality really is, right? I cannot tell you for sure what it really is, but I can tell you that it isn't good. Whatever it is, isn't good. Whatever created this doesn't have our best interest at heart. It was never about us having a good, positive experience. It was never about us having a good time here at all. It was about it and what it wants, right? It was always about it and what it wants. And it's very obvious. We are just not keeping an open mind to truly be able to understand fully what is happening here. If we were not being manipulated, if it was about our happiness, we would know what it is and we'll know the secrets. We'll talk about the law of attraction. Hey, you attract what you like. Yeah, I'm supposed to know that. You're not supposed to teach me that. I'm supposed to just know that. If law of attraction works and whatever. Like, the fact that we know nothing is weird. The fact that you can't bend reality is weird. The fact that we're so small is weird. Huh? Telling us they went to the moon. You can't go to the moon by yourself. You can't just fly like a Viltrumite, you know? If you've been watching Invincible. No, you can't fly to the moon like a Viltrumite. Like, you're too damn limited. You can't breathe in space. Huh? You can't breathe underwater. You probably can't swim. Like, no, we're too limited. Something is wrong. How do we have a great time if we can't do all these things that we can imagine ourselves doing? You know? Like, seriously, can you imagine how easy life would be if I could fly? I don't need to use transport to go to Limpopo, to go to where I'm from. I just fly there. If I was able to fly like Frag, I was that fast, I can just be home. No need to buy a car. No need to pay for transport. You know what I'm saying? No need to buy airtime to call. I just fly home. No need for citizenship. I can just live wherever I want to live because I can be there in an instant. I want to be in New York, Brooklyn. I'm in New York, Brooklyn. I want to be in Abu Dhabi. I'm in Abu Dhabi. I want to be in Dagestan, Russia. I'm in Dagestan, Russia. I want to be in Brazil, what's the name of this place? De Janeiro? I don't know. I think this other UFC fighter is from there. Maybe it's Charles Oliveira. I don't know. De Janeiro, Brazil. Yeah, something like that. I'm there. I want to be in Pennsylvania. I'm there. I want to be on Mars. I'm there. I want to be on Earth too. There's this planet, they call it Beast something. They say it's bigger than Earth, but they believe that it's more like Earth. I'm there. All my questions are answered here about my own existence. I want to meet the Anunnakis and meet these niggas. What is going on? Why did you create us? What was the point? And how do we evolve? How do we become better? How do we build a better society? We don't know shit. Doesn't that tell you something? Of all the things that can be known, we know nothing. We only know that you exist. That's it. That's the only thing you know. Of all the things that you can know, you only know that you exist. Because that's really the only thing that you know. You can't tell anyone what existence is. You can't tell anyone what your purpose is, what you're supposed to be doing. You can't. How is that a good thing? How is that a beautiful thing? Let us take a short break. I'm just gonna pause this video. And we back. We are back. Doesn't it feel odd to you that everything that happened seemed a bit too convenient? Think about it. You have 10 toes, 10 fingers, 2 eyes. Even if you didn't, but when you think about it, it's like everything is working together. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, everything is actually working together for things to have just started to exist randomly. You don't have 10 fingers by accident. It will be much harder for you to grab something if you only had 4. Right? It will be much harder. You know, your thumb is situated for it to make it easier for you to grab. And you're gonna think, it's all random, you know, it's this process of millions of years of evolution, and you got eyes, you're supposed to see. You're able to walk. You know that If your legs were built a bit differently, you wouldn't be able to walk. Like everything, you're able to run. You're able to balance when you're running. You're able to talk. You're able to understand language. You grow hair, you grow beard. There are a lot of things that had to be perfect for you to exist and be the way that you are, for you to think it's all random. So let's talk about the things that are happening in our own lives. Do you think these things are random, or they're happening because they are supposed to be happening? Like sometimes we are lazy to think, we're not brave enough to ask the right questions, right? The questions that everyone should be asking, because you cannot come up with the real answers if you're not asking real questions. If you're not asking real questions, how are you gonna find real answers? Why is there so much evil in the world? That is a very important question. The most popular answer is that there is a devil that wants things to be horrible. But why does the devil want things to be horrible in the first place? Like, yeah, he hates God. You're like, and they'll be like, if you do things that he wants you to do, he's gonna torture you in hell. You're like, it doesn't make any sense. If he hates God and I'm betraying the same God that he hates, why will he send me to hell? I'm doing exactly what he wants me to do. I remember I posted on Facebook the other day, I was like, I'm not afraid to go to hell, because I'm not saying anything bad about the devil. It's the Christians, it's the Muslims that should be afraid to go to hell because of all the horrible things that they've said about the guy, right? I've said nothing about him, so he's not gonna feel like punishing me in any way. He's probably a fan. He's probably looking at me like, damn, man, Benedict has posted another video. Damn, man, maybe him and his demons are chilling and watching right now. Shout out. No, but seriously, man. Seriously. Let me do this. Seriously. Yeah, it doesn't make sense that there's this guy who hates humanity so much that he wants us to suffer, and God is not even getting rid of the dude, and he's the one who loves us. He doesn't tell us how to protect ourselves from the dude. He just was like, scream my name and the dude, like, nah, chill, bro. It's some BS explanation. It makes more sense to think whatever created this is actually evil. That is why things are happening like this, and he's using the devil as a scapegoat because he knows how dumb we are. Like I said. But really what makes us is that dude is the one that is torturing us. Dude is the one who's behind everything. Dude is the one who's creating the darkness and the light. Who's creating pain and pleasure. Who's creating the sun and who's created the sun and the moon. Is he good? When you look at his creation, would you say dude is good? I mean, if you're privileged, you think he is. After all, there are people who thought some of the most horrible people to ever live were actually good. Why? Because they were good to them. Maybe if it's good to you, you'll be like, he's good, because, well, it's good to you. It's fair to you. Maybe it's giving you what you want, So you have every right to worship him because you think it's good, right? But when you look at what's happening in the world, you're not just looking at your own experience. You pay attention to everything that is happening. You realize that, nah, dude ain't good at all. An odd thing happened. I saw like a message from Vodacom, and that stopped the recording, which is weird, right? It's not like the phone was overheating. It's not even supposed to happen like that. If I'm recording a video and a message notification, I'm not even supposed to like see a message notification, because I don't want like whatever. Because if someone tries to call me and I'm recording, it's not gonna stop the recording. It will ask me. It will tell me that if I answer the call, it's gonna stop the recording. But if I ignore the call, it's gonna continue to record. But somehow, it's so odd, man. It's so odd. And now I have to edit the video, meaning that I have to combine the video. I hate this video editing apps with the watermark. I don't like them. But anyway, a lot of odd things are gonna happen as long as you are in this reality that you don't understand. And some of these things will seem random, but they're not. I didn't lose my dad on the month and the day that I lost him. It just had to happen at that time. I didn't meet the people that became part of my life randomly. It was supposed, like, you have to realize that you don't really have control. You don't even have free will. You think you have free will, but you don't even understand your own body. You don't even understand your own brain. Why you remember some things and you don't remember some. You be like, I have free will. Maybe you need help right now, but you don't remember people that can actually help you. You go to people who can't help you because it's not coming back that there's a person that can actually help you. You call that free will. To have free will, you must be able to remember everything. Now, you might say, no, free will, Benedict, you're wrong, because if I'm given like two options, A and B. If I choose B, that's free will. If I choose A, that's free will. If I'm not aware that there's C, D, E, whatever. No. Actually, for you to even choose B, there will be a lot of things that you're not even remembering or that you don't know that are happening behind the scenes. Sometimes you could choose B because of how you feel at a certain time, because of the food that you ate, because of the song that you've listened to. Oh, there's this movie that I've watched starring Will Smith. It's called Focus. So Will Smith was a con artist. He will gamble against some real rich people. So this scene where these guys were playing like football, American football, and this guy was wearing a jersey with a number. Will Smith told this rich guy that if I can predict, like, I want you to look at I want you to look at the field and you pick anyone random, and I'll tell you who you've picked. Like, pick someone who's wearing a jersey, I'll tell you the number behind the jersey. And the rich man looked at the field, and he's like, okay, I've identified my person, and yeah, I know the number, so tell me the number. And Will Smith told him the right number, and he was shocked, and he gave him the money. But here's the thing: the whole day they were showing him, I think, let's say he was number 33. They were showing him number 33 randomly. He gets into an elevator. Someone is holding, holding like a magazine with number 33 out, on the cover. He's driving. There's this car that passes with number 33. People are talking about 33, and he's witnessing that on a subconscious level. Because here's the thing about your subconscious: it sees everything, even the things that you're not conscious of. If my eyes are open like this, I can't tell you everything that I saw, but I believe that my subconscious can see everything. It records everything. That is why it's able to construct dreams that seem very real, right? It you know what I'm saying? Like from the smallest detail, like it records everything. Like if I wanted to draw uh, uh, my home, I wouldn't be able to get everything right. But in a dream, I can see things that I don't even remember seeing in my house, but that are there. Do you get what I'm saying? That's how crazy it is. So he might think that he had free will, but no, he didn't. You might think he decided to choose number 33, but no, he didn't decide to choose number 33. They made him choose number 33. So we lie to ourselves a lot, you know. We lie to ourselves a lot when it comes to reality, man. That it actually sucks. We don't have free will. And it's obvious. It's not something that we should even be debating about at this point. I remember when I watched the video from Sam Harris talking about why we don't have free will. I knew right away we don't have free will. Like, he makes complete sense. But even though some of the points that he's coming up with don't really make that much sense, but he's got it. He's got the truth about free will. So a lot is happening that you have no control over, and you're the sufferer. You're the one that suffers. When these crazy things are happening, you are the one that suffers. So you experience suffering, but you can't even explain what it is. You just suffer and suffer and suffer. And you wish you could liberate yourself from suffering, because no one wants to suffer. But somehow you keep on failing. I want to clean this part of the car. I just noticed now that try to not be gullible when dealing with reality. Try not to be gullible. Try not to believe things or be coerced to believe things. Try to be skeptical. I was having a conversation today about how people get scammed. I was having a conversation with someone about how people get scammed. So I was talking about there's this. Okay, if you go to Johannesburg, if you've been to Johannesburg, there are these guys who will stand in the street. They will take bottle caps, like 2 bottle caps, and they'll put like a small round object inside, like maybe a marble or something, and they will move this bottle caps, like it will be inside one of them, and they will move these bottle caps very fast that it's gonna be very hard for you to figure out where it is. They make money doing that, because what they do is there will be like a team of them, like maybe 5 or 6 of them. They'll be in one place and they're playing the game. They're betting with money, and you're passing. You're a stranger, and you see that they're betting with money, 100 rand, and you watch the game and you're like, it's easy. I can see where the marble is, and the person who's betting doesn't point to the right thing. So you're surprised. Oh, it's this easy to make money? How come this person cannot see? And the truth is, they're all in it. You're the only one who's not in it. You're the only one who doesn't know that. So you bet. Maybe you bet with $100 and you win. You bet with another $100, you win. They ain't gonna let, like if you decided that you're gonna leave, they ain't gonna let you leave with the money. Remember, they're all in it. So they will want their money back. So what they want is to get money from you. So okay, for the 3rd time you win, 4th time you win and you're making money. 5th time you start to lose. 6th time you win. 7th time you lose. 8th time you lose. 9th time you win. Now they're bringing the money back slowly. And then it gets to a point where you don't have money. I mean, they've got their money back. So now you're betting with your money and you start to lose. You lose $100. You're like, shit, let me try again because I get to bring back. And this time around, they ain't playing. You lose again. How do you lose? They are not playing fair. You think they're playing fair, but they're performing some tricks. Both those bottle caps don't have this marble inside. So whatever option you choose, it's a scam. The whole thing is a scam. I forgot how they do it, but the whole thing is a scam. They're able to hide that marble. So I was talking to someone about it, and it's like, how do people get scammed? Because you can tell right away it's a scam. But the thing is, people are too gullible. Like, you believe everything. I remember even giving this person another example. I was like, when in 2013, when I was still living in Braamfontein, Johannesburg, this guy, okay, I was walking alone, and there's money in front of me. Inside this small plastic, it's money, a lot of money. So this guy shows me the money. It's like, oh shit, we found it together, bro. He took it and he's like, yo, man, like, let's go to that corner so that we can share the money. Like, it's obviously a scam. You have to see that it's a scam without anyone telling you it's a scam, right? But somehow people fall for these tricks. That's how they're getting robbed, and these guys are encouraged to keep on doing what they're doing. Another scam that we spoke about. So they will find you in the street. They are unloading boxes or something heavy. They're taking it inside this other building. So they'll be like, okay, bro, look, we're doing this, and we have to be somewhere very quickly. So we need an extra hand. We're gonna give you 200 right away. Fine. They need your help, right? Fine, they're gonna give you 200 because you help them. But they will say, oh, okay, but you need to give us your phones, your keys, because the machine is gonna detect, like, but they don't allow us to. Yeah, but that's bullshit, bro. But somehow people fall for this shit. People are gullible. People are very gullible. When it comes to reality, keep an open mind. Don't allow this reality to fool you, because a lot is going on, and I do think we are being fooled, but you need to be waking up bit by bit. It cannot be that fast, but be waking up. There must be some patterns that you're able to notice. that other people may not actually be able to notice. Like, and when it comes to reality, stop trusting other people. You don't know where it come from. You don't know what their intentions are. You don't even know what they are. It's yourself that you can trust. Yeah. So when it comes to like understanding what reality is, you trust yourself the most. You trust your intuition the most. Like, okay, this is what I think. Based on all of this, this is what I think. This is my conclusion. This is what I understand. Right? You are the one with the final word. You're the one with the final authority. You're the one who decides what this is. You know, it can't be other people because they're gonna deceive you. You know, think of what you might possibly deal with in the afterlife, right? So let's say you die today and you encounter entities. What if those entities try to deceive you? Are you going to be able to see that, okay, these entities are trying to deceive me? Are you going to be able to see? Or you just going to trust them out of nowhere? Because, well, they seem to know some things about that realm that you're in. I mean, in this world, people made you want to have babies without thinking deeply about it, right? What it really means to create another human. Like, that's a big deal, but they didn't even make you think about it. They just made it like normal that everyone must just have kids. You know, when they you know, they're never going to ask you if you ever going to have kids. They're going to ask you, when are you going to have kids? Because it's like a requirement, you know. But as you become more and more conscious, you realize that, oh no, I do have a choice. I don't have to have children. I don't have to bring children into this world, right? But if you trusted those who came before you, those who seem to know what this is, you will be making all kinds of mistakes that you probably end up regretting later in your life. So you training yourself to be skeptical, to not be gullible, that's going to help you even in the afterlife, not just here. Not just here. But the mistake that people are making is that they're too damn gullible. Like, you're too trusting. What's going on here? It's weird. You can't be trusting. You suffer here. This is real. You're suffering. Your suffering is real, right? You can't be trusting. No one is worthy of your trust right now. If you consider the amount of suffering that you've had to endure, no one is worthy of your trust. No one. Because you're suffering. And sometimes you're suffering because of other people. People steal your things. You suffer. I just lost my glasses. Prescription glasses. 12,000 rand. 12,000 rand is like how many? Let me see in dollars. How much is? It's gonna be something like it's gonna be something like 600 and something dollars. Maybe $690, right? They're worth that much. I don't see much without them. I am supposed to drive with prescription glasses. That's the reason why I bought these ones. They kind of look like prescription glasses, so that if traffic officers stop me and they see on the license that I must be driving with prescription glasses and I'm wearing this, they will assume that it's prescription glasses. Why? I don't have money to go back to an optometrist, you know? I don't have money to go back to an optometrist and say, okay, I need a new pair of, you get what I'm saying? Like, someone stole my glasses. You're like, how does that even happen? And the way it happened is so weird. Because what happened between me, I don't know, losing them and me going to this other place, like, it didn't, like, the whole thing happened in a very short period of time, right? It almost feels like they just disappeared. So yeah, we are suffering in so many different ways. People are stealing our things. People are hating us. Someone will come into your life pretend to be a very good person, and then they break your heart in the worst way possible, and now you're too addicted to them. You can't let them go. You're texting them every day trying to get them back, but somehow they don't care anymore. I remember when I dealt with a real heartbreak in 2018. I couldn't understand, man. The girl, she was very supportive. She was on my side. She was there, man, like in every way. But when she turned her back on me, she turned her back on me in the worst time possible. But also, the way she acted was very crazy. It's like she doesn't want to talk to me anymore. Bro, I remember when I last, let me tell you like the story maybe in 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, me and this girl, we dated for 2 years straight. We broke up on our anniversary without even realizing it was our anniversary when we broke up. But here's the thing. So I was still working in Johannesburg when we were dating. So for a year we were together, and then I had to go back home because my contract ended. That's how it works in South Africa. Like I told you about internships, that they're exploiting these new kids that are coming out of universities, you know, telling them that they're giving them work experience, but they're not employing anyone. They're just using these kids because they know they can do the job. So but then they pay them less, right? So okay, fine. I don't get a permanent employment, go back home. No one got a permanent employment. Like they'll make you think that if you work hard, you know, you're gonna, like, it doesn't matter how good you are, nobody's getting it, especially when in government. Like in companies can employ you if you're that good, but in government, no. And I was working for government. So I go back home. Before I went back home, we met and we spoke. She said, I'm gonna be with you even if you're at home. You know, we're gonna figure this out. You know, you'll be applying for work when you're at home. I'm gonna help you however I can help you. And we used to talk. It was a very deep relationship, you know, like deep. Like me and her would talk for like 5 hours, bro. Like from 12 to 5, I'm telling you, because we'd have minutes, like Vodacom minutes. I'll have minutes, she'll have minutes, she'll have, her mom will have minutes, she'll call me with her mom's phone, and we just talk, bro. It was an everyday thing, and the connection felt very real, because if you can talk to someone from 12 to 5 every day and the conversation doesn't get boring for both of you, like she didn't get bored, I didn't get bored, we're always willing to talk. That's the kind of connection I'm telling you about, right? Like she was more than willing to talk. She, you know, it was always like that, and even during the day we'll be talking, right? Even during the day we'll be talking. Wait, let me take this call. All right, continuing with the story. So yeah, we had this connection that we both knew was strong. Then she got a place. Well, like, what the biggest reasons why I couldn't be decided is because I didn't have money for rent. Then yeah, she ended up getting a place. So obviously, me and her in a relationship. This place is still new. She doesn't stay there. She still want to stay at the place. So we agreed that I'm gonna be staying there for a while. So we went there and we cleaned the place. You know, there was grass everywhere, some trees. You know, I remember I worked the whole weekend when I was there to remove this stuff. Although it also added a fence as well. Like we worked. She was helping me. We were doing it together. And then I went back home to get my stuff. That's when we broke up. Now, I already told my guys that I'm going to go to Johannesburg. I'm going to be there for a while, you know. Like everyone knew that I'm leaving, and I already sold some of all the stuff that I use, like for my music, because I was producing music for people. But when we broke up, somehow she didn't want me again. Like I would force to talk to her, trying to get her back, trying to reason with her that okay, but the situation is weird now. Like I've already sold some of my stuff. I'm supposed to be there, you know, and we're supposed to, like, this is the right time for us to be together. But somehow she doesn't want anything to do with me anymore. It surprised me, and it traumatized me, So one of the days that really hurt me was when I called her because I was going to this university where we met, and they told me that some of my certificates were still missing. They were gonna, like, because I needed some certificates, so they said no, I must come back in a month that I'm gonna get them. So I was calling her to tell her that maybe she can get them for me. So the way we spoke, I could tell she doesn't want to, and then she said goodbye, Baloi, like my surname, and that's it. That's like the way she was so determined to leave at the time that I needed it the most was crazy. It was very shocking. It was unbelievable. I was like, this is the person that we had these plans and all. So you think back and you're like, what if people get sent into our lives and we become very attached to them and then they just leave? So at the time that you are very attached to a person, that's the time that they're like, I don't want you anymore. That's the time when they like, you're no longer good enough for me. So they leave for real. And there's nothing you can do about it. But you're addicted to them and it's gonna take time. It took me like 9 months to actually heal from that relationship. I'm not lying to you. It took me like 9 months, bro. Like 9 months. That's when I started to feel like, okay, I'm okay now. It's a weird world that we live in, man. So know that people can change, maybe because they are being used by something, or they're being controlled by something. Like, you never know. Like, the thing is, you must keep an open mind when it comes to reality. Like, what is really going on? You keep an open mind. Don't assume that you know what is going on. That's one of the biggest mistakes that we are making. Like, the truth is obviously stranger than fiction. Seems like it's about to rain. Like, the weather is changing quickly, and it's still 5 foot long. But yeah, man, let's keep an open mind when it comes to this reality. Let's stop I don't know, looking for easy answers. Or assuming that other people are going to tell us what is going on. It's us who need to figure that out ourselves. You shouldn't even be trusting Benedictine too much. Like, he's going to tell you what is going on. It's you. Like, you can watch his videos, see if there are some things you can take from his videos, But it's you who has the final say. It's you who has the final authority. It's you who says what is real. Right? It's not Benedictine. It's not Elon Musk. It's not NASA. It's not your pastor. It's not your parents. It's not the people that you think are more intelligent than you. It's you who has the final authority, because you're going to be deceived. You have to trust yourself. No matter how limited you are the person that you can trust. You're the only one that you can trust here, right? Because a lot can be happening that you don't even like understand at all. People could be shape shifting and you don't know they're doing that. I'm telling you, man, there's so much you don't understand about reality to trust anyone. There is so much you don't understand about reality. Like what they told you the world is, it might not be that at all. It might not be anything remotely close to what they told you it is, right? It might be something else. So you keep an open mind. They tell you come from monkeys, you keep an open mind. They tell you this is a simulation, you keep an open mind. They tell you this is a dream, you keep an open mind. They teach you about non-duality, you keep an open mind. They teach you about the law of attraction, you keep an open mind. They talk to you about reptilians and aliens, you keep an open mind. They tell you about the lush farm, you keep an open mind. You must end up fully understanding what this is by keeping an open mind. And even if you're wrong, at least it's you. You know, even if you're wrong, you won't mislead yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you might be wrong, but you won't you won't trap yourself like someone else would if they tell you something that is not true, because their intention might be to trap you. You know what I'm saying? Their intention might be to trap you. The world is crazy, man. Existence is crazy. You're strong for being able to exist in this reality and you're still sane. You don't even know how strong you are for still being able to maintain some level of sanity going through this nonsense. So take yourself seriously enough to, trash yourself than to be trusting others. One of my favorite movies, and I even watched this movie in a very long time, it's called Usual Suspect. So there was this guy who was a criminal, like he was a mastermind. He was the mastermind actually of, like he was working with these guys. He was their boss, but they didn't know he was their boss because he acted like he was crippled. So they just look at him and think he's weak, and they don't even understand why he's part of their crew. But the real truth was that he was actually the mastermind. He was actually their boss. So when they got caught, he played victim. He acted like he was the victim. He's helpless, he's a cripple. But when he walked out, because he was interviewed by this other detective, and he looked at him and he's like, he's a cripple, he's nothing. When he walked out, he started to walk well, and then that guy who was interviewing him, he got some clues from interviewing him that, no, that's actually him. I think his name was Kaiser Sose. like something like that. Like he was like the mastermind. Everyone feared him. So now he realized that, oh shit, that's Kaiser Soze. I was interviewing Kaiser Soze, but I didn't have a clue that it was him. Why did he not have a clue that it was Kaiser Soze? It's because he believed in the usual suspect. Let me put it this way. He believed what we believe about this reality. That's it. That a person who's the usual suspect has to act a certain way, has to be a certain way. You get what I'm saying? He didn't try to think outside the box. He didn't try to think about what was possible. Is it possible that I might be interviewing Kaiser Soze now? What if I was interviewing him? How will Kaiser Soze talk to me? How will Kaiser Soze respond to me? Right? He didn't explore all possibilities. So that's what most of us are doing. We're not trying to explore all possibilities. Can't even begin to explain the level of open-mindedness that is needed to understand reality. Like you have to be so open-minded that people call you crazy. Like you say things that make people go like, there's no way that makes sense. But you like, and in fact, you will say things that make sense, but they'll be like, there's no way that is real, even if it makes sense, because they still believe in what we call intelligence that is not even real intelligence. It's just you becoming a puppet of the matrix. It's just you becoming what the matrix wants you to be. So they call you intelligent because you are that, not because you are really intelligent. Like you are this puppet. So they tell you you're intelligent when you are being this puppet, but when you are being actually intelligent, they say you are dumb, they say you are crazy. You see? Isn't that clever? So it's misdirection. They congratulate you when you are dumb as they come, when you're easy to control, so they give you credit. But when you're not, they act like something is wrong with you, right? When you're speaking the real truth, they don't give you credit. They don't go like, he's figured it out, he's intelligent, what a smart monkey. However they see us. But no, they don't look at you that way. So you think, okay, it means I'm not intelligent. But while you're actually intelligent, you watch my videos and you're like, Benedict is intelligent. But do you think the system will think that I'm intelligent? No, it wouldn't even think that at all. Why? Because I'm a threat. True intelligence is a threat to this system. You're not supposed to be intelligent. You're not supposed to think rationally about what is actually going on in this realm. You're supposed to be lying to yourself, just like everyone else. Uh-oh. One day a person is gonna be stuck somewhere. I'm telling you. Like I'm very low on fuel. So I must make sure that and fuel is expensive. And it might actually become more expensive. We don't know what's going on with these wars. I haven't even been following what's going on. But yeah, man, it's imperative that you keep an open mind about reality. It's imperative, man. really don't have a clue what this is, and to pretend as if you do is to limit yourself from actually understanding what is actually going on. Like, if you want to limit yourself, pretend as if you know. Like, you might find that the real problem is that you know what is going on. That is the real problem. That is why you don't understand what reality is. It's because you know what it is, so you can never really know what it is because you think you know what it is. Do you get what I'm saying? You have convinced yourself that you got it all figured out. You get what reality is. You get what is going on. So it means you'll be manipulated. They're gonna lie to you, and you're gonna believe their lies. They're gonna manipulate you, and you're gonna fall for it. You're gonna fall for it. Why? Because you believe you get what is going on. Because you believe that you understand what reality is. I'm telling you, this world isn't anything close to what we are programmed to think it is, man. It's something else. This world is something else. But even if you don't know for sure what it really is, you can tell that you do not feel well about it. Like, you do feel it in your heart that something is not right. Do I have a smoker here? Just hope I don't get a copyright strike. You play a song, I mean, you passing somewhere and they're playing a song, now you get a copyright strike. I hope we do get to realize what this is. I hope we get to realize what we need to do. We all want to be free. That is the truth. The people who are religious, they want to be free. They're just scared. The people who are atheists, they want to be free. They're just too skeptical. The people who are conspiracy theorists, they want to be like, everyone wants to be free. You want happiness. You want to be okay. You don't want this to be bad. You know what I'm saying? I can imagine running out of fuel while still like in the build of the road, because it won't, like, your car won't tell you that you're only left with like 1 kilometer to drive, so figure out where you can park. But yeah, man, it doesn't seem like there's another way of figuring out what's going on than trusting yourself, because anything outside of you could deceive you. That's the thing, like, it could lie to you, it could make you think you figured it out while you have not figured anything out. So it's better to look at yourself as the main source of truth. They ask you, who's the source? What is the source of all your knowledge? You're like, it's me. I'm the source, right? I'm the one who has figured it out. Because this is weird. The fact that you exist is weird. Whether you like to believe it or not, it is weird. It's crazy. It's beyond crazy, actually, that you exist. It's beyond crazy that you're experiencing this thing that you call reality. And you must try to see it from every angle. You'll understand how weird it is that you exist, you're conscious, you're having this experience. If you look at it from every angle, you get it. Like, okay, but this is crazy. But you act like it's normal and you figured it out. You struggle to get what you want and you just think it's just normal, that you're born into a reality where you must struggle or not even get what you want at all until it's all over. Like, that's normal. It's not. It's horrible. Thank you guys for watching this video until the end. It's probably the longest video that I've ever made, really. And I was interrupted a lot, but I was like, you know what, I still have a lot to say. I'm gonna talk until I'm fully satisfied today. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep on, if I get interrupted, okay, it's fine. I'm gonna stop the video, but then I'm gonna start recording again. So yeah, thank you guys for everything, man. This channel, it has not only helped you guys, it also helped me a lot. Thank you.